There are many steam locomotives in the United States that the railfan community loves. Southern Pacific 449, Norfolk and Western 611, and many others. But the most famous one of them all, that even people outside of the train community know of, is the Big Boy. Everyone knows what the Big Boy is. Young kids do. Regular rail fans do. Older rail fans do. Your mom knows what the Big Boy is. Even those mean rail fans that make fun of people for liking certain trains know what the Big Boy is. Everyone knows what the Big Boy is. While many other famous steam engines like Norfolk and Western 1218, Strasburg 90, 611, and 449 have all had wooden toys made of them, the Big Boy really hasn't. The only real wooden version of a Big Boy we ever got was the Lionel Learning Curve one, which was too small, hard to find, and sometimes overpriced. No one really liked it. However, this summer, Choo Choo Track and Toy Co. finally made a good wooden Big Boy model. The train community finally got something that it had been wanting for literal years now. Does this wooden train hold up to the hype? Let's see. The first thing I noticed about this wooden train when I got it was how large it was. This is supposed to be the Big Boy, and it really does feel like a Big Boy. It doesn't feel like any part of this model was cut down or shortened for it to fit on a wooden track. This is a very good representation of a Big Boy. I am aware that the wheel arrangement isn't accurate, but if it were to have a actual 4884 wheel arrangement, it would not be able to fit on wooden tracks, so they did a fantastic job in terms of proportion. In terms of detailing, this wooden train is absolutely perfect. There's so many parts on it that just look fantastic, mostly due to the fact that many pieces of this train are actually 3D printed, adding to the detail of the wooden model. On top of that, there's great decals and molded in detail all over this thing. I didn't realize how detailed this wooden train was until I brought it out with me to see the actual Union Pacific Big Boy. Many of the features on the real Union Pacific Big Boy actually ended up on the small wooden toy. For example, the words Big Boy that were chalked on the front of the engine made it onto the wooden train, as well as many rivets were also on the wooden train that were in the same place as on the real one. Even some small bits of numbers and letters that were on the cab made it onto the wooden toy too. One thing I really appreciate about this model is that the tender is very detailed and accurate. On most wooden trains, the tender is an afterthought and doesn't really look that good when compared to the real thing. But on this model, the tender is immaculate. I love how the wheels have little silver spots just like on the real engine, which is a very good attention to detail. I also love the details on the roof and the molded coal on top that looks fantastic. Even on the back of the tender, which on most wooden trains there's absolutely nothing, this engine has decals, including a headlight. It looks fantastic. As great as this model is, it does have a few flaws. Most notably, its playability. It cannot go up steep hills, nor can it go around sharp curves. This makes it much harder to enjoy if you have a lot of hills and a lot of sharp curves. But other than that, the model should work just fine on any wooden track. The other flaw with this wooden train is its price tag. This wooden train costs $120, which for a wooden train is very expensive. This is the most expensive wooden train I've ever seen. Not counting those Whittle Shortline prices on eBay where people will sell rare Whittle Shortline items for outrageous prices. However, I'm not going to blame Choo Choo Track and Toy Co. for this high price. They're a small company in the United States. They don't have a giant factory somewhere where they can produce these en masse to lower the price. They're only a small family company, so I don't blame them for this high of a price. This is probably as low as they can get it. If there's anything I would do to improve this model, it would be add a bell and number boards at the front. With this model being super detailed, it feels strange not having the number boards or bell on the front. At the very least, on future versions of this, I think there should be a bell on the very front. But other than that, I can say that this is the greatest wooden steam engine ever made. It's detailed, it's quality, it's perfect. Choo Choo Track and Toy Co. did an amazing job on this wooden model, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Thank you for watching.